Welcome to Accounting High.
So you ended up going out on your own, doing the thing. And that might have been around the time when I met you or I first saw your activity online. And it's funny because my co host also met you right around the same time.
That's
And I
right. That's
think
right.
you started going hard with the promoting or just asking questions. I remember a lot of your posts early on was just posting certain things and raising a thoughtful question. And it got a lot of activity. You're early. I don't see it as much. I may not be paying attention, but man, your post went semi-viral early on. So give me the thought process in there. Was that to get clients or was that just to show you're in the game?
So I had a friend of mine who had built a business completely off the back of Twitter. He ran a cleaning company where he found VAs on Twitter, and he built an audience, and then he used that audience to build a remote staffing company. Shout out to Brian Solentrop. I think it's solely business on Twitter. But he said, "Hey,
Wow.
dude, you should just start tweeting. Just see what happens." And so I had to take a week off of work. I had a sports hernia that I had removed. And so I just started tweeting. And I was like, well, if I'm going to use this for business, I will just start talking about problems that agencies are dealing with and just try to be myself. I think LinkedIn has a little bit of a rap in terms of being more formal and professional. And Twitter is just kind of the wild, wild west. You can kind of speak your mind. And that's where I kind of found some traction was on Twitter. And that's when I discovered the whole world of tax Twitter and kind of this accounting subculture that was present there. So I found some clients on Twitter. I was picking up followers. I was meeting interesting people like yourself. That was about 6 months before I decided to go out on my own.
Really?
Yeah,
So that was even before you started going out on your own. All
yeah.
right. Yeah, because I do remember, we're talking and you're like, yeah, I haven't necessarily started it yet. So this was still very new, but you had a good personal brand going. You put the yellow behind your face and it was all intentional. And it seemed like you knew what you were doing. You could have fooled me and you could have been doing it for years. So you kind of just picked it up and started toying around with it. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. And it wasn't strictly for business purposes, but I mean, like I said, I have kind of an entrepreneurial bent and it was natural for me to talk about business. And so the more I did that, the more traction I got. I think the first tweet that I had that went semi-viral was when I talked about how long a company's P&L should be. It should be 8 accounts. And it just took off. And
because it resonated with so many people. That's why your tweets did so well, because there were simple things, simple observations that you made or things that you discussed, but it didn't feel like you were pushing an agenda. It just felt like you were speaking to everybody that it resonated with, obviously.
Yeah, that's what it was. And the beauty of Twitter is you have to condense your thought into so few words. It's like a great critical thinking exercise. How can I put this thing that might be a little bit complex in very simple terms that anyone can understand? And so I loved that part of it. It required a lot of critical thinking. It was interesting to see what resonated with people and what didn't, because the things that I felt like I thought the most about would get no traction versus the things that would just kind of come to me and I'd just fire off haphazardly would do much better.
Well, I think most people can speak to that. Anything that you put a lot of thought into is not going to do well, especially on these, unless you already have a following and you're already just throwing out there. It's the ones that you just toss out without much thought because it's what came to you.
Yeah.
That tend to resonate. If you try to resonate with people, what I've found from my experience doesn't necessarily work. But you did a great job at it. And I guess that must have been encouraging too.
It's time for social studies, accounting, content hub, LinkedIn marketing, or X. So come join our social club. Is it Twitter? Is it X? Shit, now I can't keep up. So comment, follow, love if you into social studies.